What's going on, everybody? It's the Jack here once again with another Wavature 101 video for you guys. Yeah, that's right, Professor Wavature is back at it again with another Wavature 101 video for you guys on this wonderful baby Wednesday. As I always say, you guys see the title, you guys see the thumbnail. This video is going to be about all things brushing. We're going to talk about the type of brushes you need to get waves. We're going to talk about how long you should be brushing to get waves. We're going to be talking about the types of brushes you need. You know, we're going to everything that revolves around brushing, brush techniques. I might even show you guys how I brush my hair. You know, this video was inspired from, you know, I'm routinely asked about, you know, my brush routines and what brushes I feel like is needed for waves and how do I brush my hair. And I'm constantly getting a lot of brush related questions. You feel me? And I feel like, you know, we all know that to get waves, you need to brush your hair. We all know that, you know, there's nothing that you can do to get waves other than brush your hair. You feel me? There's no product that you can put into your hair that's gonna mysteriously and magically create waves in your hair. There's no do-rag that you can wear that's as soon as you take it off the next night, or I mean the next morning, is gonna have you spinning. You know, we all know that to get waves, you need to brush your hair. So this video is going to be all about brushing, all about the brushology, whatever term you want to give it, this video is going to be on it. Alright, so make sure you guys stay tuned, keep it locked, don't go anywhere. You might want to grab your brushes just in case, you feel me, you gain a little bit of motivation to go brush your own hair to get your waves going on some Super Saiyan Michael Phelps type swim mode. Alright, first things first, how many brushes do you need? What brush do you need? As far as brands go, you can get waves with any brush. You feel me? Hopefully you're trying to get your waves going with my Wavature brushes, but you feel me? You can get, you know, waves with any brush, so brand doesn't really matter. Of course, the better the quality of the brush, the less brushes you're gonna have to routinely buy. The better quality of the brush, the more pull the brush is gonna have to help create waves, and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, you kind of have that get what you pay for. It's kind of motto, if you will. You know, the better quality, the better the results. You feel me? But yeah, so as far as the brand of the brush, that really doesn't matter. As far as getting waves, it's a matter about what you do with the brush. Now, how many brushes do you need? I feel like you need you're going to need 2 brushes. You know, you're gonna need, one is going to be your medium brush. You know, your medium brush is your workhorse. That's the brush that you're using on all phases of your wave journey, regardless if you're starting your wave, trying to get waves, trying to get your connections, developing your crown, whatever stage of waving you're at, you're going to need that medium brush. That medium brush helps pull your hair. It helps create the waves, because once the hair is constantly pulled, you know, and those curls start to lay down, that's how waves are formed. And you know, that happens with your medium brush. You're also going to need that soft brush. I feel like that soft brush is, you know, that helps with controlling frizz, and it's really good to brush your products in with a soft brush. I feel like you could use a medium brush to brush your products in, but I feel like a soft brush just works better. It helps it glide and evenly distribute the product throughout your hair, as well as help, as I just said, maintain your frizz and make sure that you know, all that product is nice and orderly. Your hair is nice and orderly. It's a polisher. I always say that it's a polisher. It really does help end off in all your brush sessions. Now, speaking of brush sessions, how should you set up your brush session? You should start off with the firmest brush that you have and work your way down to your softest. And if you're a believer of the plastic bag method, you should follow your soft brush session with the plastic bag method. You know, I think that that's just the best route to go, because you're gonna get that pull you're gonna need. Then after you get that pull, you're gonna start laying the hair back down and smoothing your waves back down, and everything is just gonna look good. You feel me? I'm kind of in need of a brush session myself. So make sure you guys stay tuned until the end of the video, just so you guys can see my brush session and how I kind of break it down and things like that. Now, in terms of what part of your head to brush first, that's all on you. That's a perspective thing. You know, I tend to start off with my weak side first. You know, for you guys who've been following me for a while, you know my start and end method. Whichever side your weak side, or whatever side you want to work on the most, you start in your session with. So I start off with my right side, which is my weak side. From my right side, I go to my crown. From my crown, touch up to the back. From my back, come to my left side. Then I touch my top and call it a day. That's how I break down my brush sessions. That's kind of how you guys will be seeing at the end of the video how I brush my hair. As far as how long should each session be, that's another perspective thing. When I was trying to get waves and trying to get my waves to come in and trying to get my waves to connect, and I was on like that serious grind mode, I was brushing my hair probably anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour a day. Of course I was breaking it up. I would never sit down and tell you guys to brush for 30 minutes straight. You know, unless you're brushing before bed and have nothing else to do. You know, you can sit down and brush for 30 minutes straight, but I'm never gonna tell you guys in the middle of the day, go sit in your bathroom for 30 minutes and brush your hair. You know, there's other things that you can do. But yeah, how I broke up my sessions when I first started was getting waves and stuff like that. When I wake up in the morning, I unrag, you know, I let my hair decompress, then I'll go in with probably 10-15 minutes real quick, and just kind of did it periodically throughout the day, you know, from the morning to before I was going somewhere, when I got back from that somewhere, before bed. Like, you know, I was doing little 10 to 15 minute brush sessions throughout the day, which led to me getting my 30 minutes to an hour's worth of brushing in, you know, when you add it all up. Now, one thing that people always want to bring up is blind brushing. Blind brushing is when you don't have a mirror or of any kind. You're just putting that brush to work like so, but without a mirror. When it comes to blind brushing, I feel like all wavers go through blind brushing. You know, I feel like every waver starts off waving with blind brushing. You know, you're not gonna be in the mirror at all times when you're brushing. You're not gonna have a hand mirror at all times when you're brushing, especially when you first start. You feel me? When you first start waving, you probably weren't on YouTube and looking at us, you know, as far as to teach you the proper ways of wave management and things like that. You know, so you probably weren't privy to all the knowledge that you have, so you're just picking up the brush and going to work. When I first started waving, I was blind brushing a lot. I was brushing, you know, while watching TV and stuff like that. I was brushing on my way to go places. I was brushing on my way back from places. I was brushing while I was at work, you feel me? I was just brushing my hair, you feel me? I feel like when you're in the getting wave stage, and you don't focus, so you're not going to be so focused on your connections. You're not going to be so focused on breaking forks or moving forks or your flow. You're just going to be focusing on developing your ripples, developing your pattern. So I'm not going to say I recommend blind brushing, but I feel like blind brushing is not going to hurt you when you're at that stage of your wave journey. I think, you know, mirror brushing really comes into play when you're working on connections, when you're working on you know, your flow and removing forks. That's when you're at that stage, you know, you're entering your second to third to fourth stages of waving. It's when that mirror brushing really comes into play. You feel me? So that's kind of like my idea on blind brushing. I was gonna do a whole video on blind brushing versus mirror brushing and the benefits of each, the pros and cons of each, if you will, but I decided to kind of put that all in one video. If you guys really want me to break it down and give you guys the full-fledged pros and cons of blind brushing and pros and cons of mirror brushing, then let me know. Comment that on the in the comment section below, and I'll gladly make that video for you guys. Next. Alright, so brushing your hair when your hair is dry. A lot of people don't like doing it. Some people do. I feel like brushing your hair when your hair is dry is not gonna harm your hair at all. You know, you want to add product to your hair because it helps soften your hair up and helps your hair become a little bit more manageable and able to be moved. When your hair is like at a softer, more damp, or, you know, after a product usage state, your hair is gonna be a little bit easier to lay down and things like that. It's easier to move, it's like easier to manipulate. However, when you're brushing your hair when your hair is dry, I feel like that doesn't hurt. You know, a lot of times we you know, if you're brushing out in public or something like that, if you're not at home and have your products with you, chances are you're gonna be brushing your hair when your hair is in a dry state anyway. So I feel like that brushing your hair when it's dry doesn't hurt your hair. If anything, it's gonna help create your waves even more and things like that. You know, because you're putting that brush to work no matter what. And I think that that's what's most important. It's just not, you know, is not just, you know, brushing your hair when you're putting in products, or brushing your hair when your hair is wet. It's just brushing your hair, period. You feel me? So as long as you're putting that brush to work, I don't see anything wrong with, you know, brushing your hair when it's dry versus brushing your hair when you have products in, or you're placing product in, or when your hair is wet. You feel me? What other questions do I get asked that's brush related? Oh yeah, somebody had asked me the other day, do I count my brush strokes? Like, am I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And that is, the answer to that question is no, I do not count my brush strokes. I feel like that's kind of extra. You know, I brush my hair until I feel like my hair is laid down to the, you know, where I want it to be. I brush my hair until I feel like my hair looks good enough. I brush my hair until I feel like my waves are at its maximum level in terms of its looks, you know, and all that good stuff. I feel like that there's no need to sit down and count your brush strokes, because you're gonna be too focused on the number. You're not gonna be focused on actually brushing and hitting correct angles. Speaking of angles, my brush angles I'll be showing you guys in this video as well, and towards the end of the video when I show you actually break down my session. Now, Jackson, do you brush every day? That's a question that I get asked a lot. I do brush pretty often, but I can't lie, I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like I do brush my hair every day still. I'm not gonna lie, when I was on vacation last week, it was a day or two I didn't brush my hair. On those days when I didn't brush my hair, for the most part, my do-rag was on. So my hair was nice and laid, and I wasn't doing anything that would cause me to sweat or sweat out my waves. So my waves still stayed in a good looking state. But to answer that question, I do not brush my hair every day. However, I feel like once your waves are at this state and they're connected all the way around and your crown is developed, you're more so brushing for maintenance. You're not brushing to get waves, you're brushing to better your waves. So if you take a day off, it's not gonna hurt you as bad as if you're trying to get waves and still taking days off. You feel me? It's like trying to get to the league. You feel me? You work hard every day to try to get to the league. Then once you get to the league, you can kind of relax a little bit. And you're just working to make sure that you keep that contract and you stay in the league versus, so you won't, get out the league. You don't want your waves to start looking bad. So you make sure you do enough to maintain them, but you're not going to go as hard as if you were still trying to get your waves. You feel me? Like, I don't understand. I don't know if you guys understand like that kind of dynamic. If you don't, feel free to, ask me again and I'll figure out a different way to say it. But I feel like, once your waves are at this level, your flow is good, your crown is there, you have minimal forks or troubled areas, you gotta relax a little bit. You don't gotta brush every day. I still brush out of the 7 days a week. I'm still brushing 5 to 6 days, and some days I am brushing all 7. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm not gonna act like I brush every day still. I think that's everything. I talked about the brushes that you need, how long your sessions should be, blind brushing versus mirror brushing. I think I talked about every aspect of brushing that I possibly can. If you guys feel like I missed anything, make sure you ask me a question below, and I could either make another video, like a part 2 video on it, or I could just answer that question directly for you guys. Now, the moment that you guys all have been waiting for is the time for me to have my brush session. Now, I haven't added any product in my hair, for, I want to say it's been 2 days since I've added some product in my hair. So I'm about to just add a light oil to my hair. Actually, no, I'm actually add some actual product, like some moisturizer in my hair too. I think it's time. So let me go grab my moisturizer, and I'm grab my light oil, and I'm gonna put that in my hair and have that brush session to kind of show you guys how I brush my hair, the angles I hit, and all that good stuff. All right, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, so the products that I'm finna use real quick is gonna be my light oil, my coconut milk from Organics. This is one of my favorite products ever. Definitely know I got my Goat Drip moisturizer that I'm about to use too. You feel me? Man, oh man, I love this. I'm about to use this. And this little secret sample product that I got right here. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much about this though. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much. Just know it's good. So I'm about to put this in my hair, then get the brushing. So I plan on starting off by putting my light oil in my hair first. You know, because this is really good for moisturizing purposes. It's not really a sealant. You feel me? You know, so I start my sessions with that. Oh no, my flash went on. That's weird. My phone must be overheating. All right, but it's whatever. So when I'm putting my product into my hair, I make sure that I put it in my hair in the direction that I brush. I think that's very important. It helps with training your hair too. Also, by doing this, it helps you with, you know, staying consistent with your angles because you're constantly putting your product in, you know, in that way. Now, I know my crown's kind of messed up right now. I know you guys see that. That's because when I got home from work, I took my shirt off without putting my do-rag on. And put this shirt on that I'm wearing right now without putting my do-rag on. So my hair was kind of, you know, standing up. It's not as laid as it used to be, or as it, you know, usually is. Reasons why I need that brush session to make sure my hair is laid back down. Now it's time for me to put my secret product in. And for those of you guys wondering, nope, it's not my own product. I'm not coming out with my own product, not yet at least. You feel me? I'm still learning a lot about products and learning a lot about hair and stuff like that. I figured that that's not something that I will be doing, you know, anytime soon. You feel me? Education is everything, and I gotta learn more. I kind of want to go to school for cosmetology a little bit just to learn more about the hair and hair as a whole before I come up with my own product. You feel me? I'm gonna go in with my Goat Drip moisturizer. Got that right here. Now the reason why I'm putting the Goat Drip in last is because the Goat Drip's consistency is more of a, it's a little thicker than the product I just used prior. So this is gonna be more as my sealant, if you will, because it has more of like that butter feeling compared to the other product that I put in. Now you're gonna realize that the last couple products I put into my hair, I didn't really use my mirror, and that's because I know my angles. Once you guys know your angles, you could start, you know, putting your products in your hair without physically needing to see it. Also, you can start brushing your hair without physically needing to see it. Quick thing about blind brushing, one more thing. I do blind brush from time to time now. I just don't touch my crown because my crown you have to be super accurate and super precise with. And I can't do that without my mirror. But as far as brushing my sides and brushing my top and brushing down my back, I know my angle is pretty good to do that. So start off with your medium brush or the firmest brush that you have, and kind of go to town. You know, just put that brush to work nicely. You feel me? Now I know I told you guys that you want to brush your products in with a soft brush, but being that I put 3 products in, you know, at one time, I want to make sure that it's brushed completely in, and the best way to make sure it's brushed completely in is using a brush that kind of, you know, gets deeper into your roots of your hair and gets more down to the scalp. You know, another good thing about using a medium brush is that medium brushes get down to your scalp, in a sense it helps you know, with exfoliating the scalp, giving that scalp that nice massage, which helps stimulate hair growth too, because it helps with that blood flow. You know, blood flow to your scalp is very important. That's why I recommend from time to time, you know, combing your hair against the grain and just giving yourself a nice scalp massage prior to washing your hair. Now, as far as the angles I hit, I just follow this wave right here because I think that these waves are my most connected before this fork pops in and it kind of goes awry in this area. So being that these are fully connected right here, I just follow those waves that come straight down from those waves. Now when I hit my back into my crown, I just kind of brush from my crown. Now when I get towards the left of my, the back of my head, I kind of start doctoring up the crown a little bit more, making sure my crown is nice and tight, while at the same time brushing kind of at an angle to really pull at my hair. I brush at an angle now because I used to kind of brush straight down. Like, I hope you guys can see it. Like, I used to brush more so straight down like this when I was brushing this area, but now I'm trying to get my waves to, you know, flow more, come into this side. So I kind of brush more at an angle instead of brushing my left side more at an angle like this. You know, I'm kind of coming down towards my cheek region versus straight down passing the ear. You know, when I'm brushing my crown, just brushing a circle. Brushing my crown is very, you know, the angles I hit are fairly simple. You know, I just kind of hit that AG tap tap, going right around in a circle until I feel like, you know, my crown is completed. Just like so. Also, when it comes to brushing your hair, make sure you guys use both hands. It makes it a whole lot easier if you're ambidextrous and using two hands versus just using one. When you try to use one hand, you can't really get into the crevices of your hair. Now I'm moving on to my soft brush. You know, I'm moving on to my soft brush. I'm kind of making this brush session a lot shorter than what I usually would do because I don't want you guys watching this video for extremely long. Then when I start my soft brush sessions, I kind of just brush all the way around, brushing from my crown, you know, just to make sure everything is laid down properly. You know, I don't really break it up into, you know, right side, left side, or anything like that. I kind of just brush from my crown. Brushing from your crown helps with your flow as well, because when you brush from your crown, everything is gonna go, you know, nice and smooth. And also it helps keep your crown nice and tight at the same time as far as like wave development. That's gonna conclude this video. If you have any, you know, clarifying questions, make sure you guys let me know. You can let me know either in the, you know, comment section below, or you guys can hit me up directly on Instagram or on Facebook if you have me on that. Alright. I'm all ragged up. Gonna let this sit. And I'll probably do like an unrag video on Instagram later on and kind of show you guys the results of my brush session. And yeah, I'm gonna take off. Keep that brush in motion if you want the ocean. Keep that wavature going, pick a goal and go get it. Pick up your brush right now and start brushing your hair, alright? With that being said, Professor Wavature is out. Peace.